All right. Yo, everyone, welcome back to Performance Matters Podcast. I'm your host, Matrixx. I'm joined by, of course, Aidan over here on my left. I guess your guys' right, depending on which angle you're watching it from. Before we kind of dive into some conversation, just a reminder that we are on Spotify, we're on Apple, we're on YouTube, and we want to continue bringing you guys awesome content every week. So naturally, we would like a favor. We're asking you a favor. If you could please follow us, like us, and subscribe to us on YouTube, Apple, and Spotify. That'd be great.
Please.
Another funny side note. You ever notice how, like, if I do a thumbs up, it pops up as a little bubble on the screen, like in the video, like it picks it up. Like if I did this, watch.
The emoji?
Up. Yeah, like it does. Oh, I guess it's not doing it anymore. I don't really know. I just saw a thumbs up thing.
Maybe someone's giving you a thumbs up.
Maybe someone's giving me a thumbs up. That'd be great. You know what you could do? You click that thumbs up button.
Hey, there you go. That's probably what it's for. You do a thumbs up.
Yeah, do a thumbs up, and that's a sign to go like, follow, and subscribe to us on Spotify, Apple, and YouTube. Second thing, by the time this episode releases, just a reminder, Parents Week is happening next week, which is July 27th until July 31st. So Monday to Friday. Essentially, it's kind of like almost like a thank you, I guess, or maybe like a celebration if you want to call it that, really. But we have a lot of young athletes, right? A lot of whom don't drive yet, that kind of thing. So it's kind of like I was saying, hey, parents, you guys drive your kids everywhere, you support your kids all the time. It's almost like an open house. Like, hey, why don't you come in, get a lift in with your son or daughter, and have a great time.
We noticed a lot of you guys are waiting out there in the parking lot anyways, waiting for your son, daughter to do what they do in here. So come on in, say hi at the very least, and maybe we can get some work in, see what it's like.
Yeah, again, we don't have to go crazy. It's like you don't have to do like, again, we have some pretty stellar athletes. So, hey, parents, good job on you. But you don't have to do exactly what they're doing. It's like we'll put some things together that might be a little bit more basic, fun, simple. It's like, hey, like you said, they're in the parking lot anyway. Instead of going to Tim Hortons or just kind of, on your phone for an hour, why don't you just suit up and get a pump in, and then
maybe have some fun.
Have some fun. Just kind of see what see what it's all about.
We got tons of guys and girls, I guess, started the same way. They just saw their kid coming in here, getting work done. They found some success, so they say, "Hey, I'm going to give it a try," and they're still here.
Yeah, give it a shot. It's more just like an open house. Like, come work out with your son or daughter, have a good time, and just see what happens. Yeah. You know what I mean? Have a blast. So that Parents Week. If you guys are interested in having if you're a young athlete, you can tell your parents to reach out to us. But essentially, there's a Google form. They just have to put their name information there, and we'll set them up so they have that week to come in with their athlete, or they can come on their own. It's up to them. But either way, it's like a week guest pass for them. They can come in and hang out with their son or daughter and get a lift in. So Parents Week, that is July 27th to July 31st. So make sure you guys get that information. And if you're interested, roll up and let's have a good time. And of course, I always forget to do the sponsor thing, but sponsored by us. Big shout out
to us.
Shout out to hey, just dap ourselves up. Of course, this episode is brought to us by Iron Performance Center, Niagara's premier strength and conditioning facility, right here in the Niagara region, located in the northeast end. So if you're interested, you can reach out www.ironperformance.ca. So pretty basic stuff there. So it's crazy. We just kind of like want to down the rabbit hole. We just kind of touched on different avenues right there.
We got a lot going on, man.
It's been busy.
Yeah, it's been busy.
You know what I mean? We're kind of like in the full send of summer right now.
We're in the thick of it.
We are in the thick of it. I'd say like it's like the perfect storm, and now we're kind of like over the halfway hump because now like we're starting to have like our varsity athletes start looking towards training camp in August. Yeah. And I think it's like too soon for like high school athletes to start talking about going back to school because really they've only been on break for like 3 weeks.
Yeah, they're really just. I guess they're still ramping up kind of, at least with us, right?
Yeah.
They do have plenty going on still. They got practices going on still, I guess, if they're still staying after it. But, they're ramping up still. A lot of our college athletes are starting to not ramp down, but look towards what's ahead. What's next?
We're in the full thick of things right now in the summer. And as we kind of wrap up July coming up, a lot of our athletes are getting ready to go back to camp in middle to end of August, some later. But that's where things start having fun because it's like a bittersweet moment, like preparing them for like this awesome preseason, exhibit, and then you're also sad because they're going off again. You're gonna miss them and catch up, but we'll save those emotions for another day.
And that's really the whole point, like this is why they come here to be better prepared for when they have to go back to school. So consider that like, hey, job done. We did our thing here. Let's
go kick some ass. Let's go tune some motherfuckers up. You know what I'm saying? So saying tune motherfuckers up. How was lift today with the boys?
You know what? It was pretty good today. Like everyone's on time. They're ready to go. So that's always positive. A lot of guys, you know what? Like, lot of bad attitudes, like they just came off a loss recently. So like, that's gotta
Always
hurt.
tough, yeah.
But you know what? They had a good little streak going before that. And then if they win the right games coming up here, then they could, just squeeze into playoffs. And then at that point, it's anybody's game, like they're showing up, they're doing the thing. I know it's not always an easy job to show up after you just got your ass kicked, but like, hey, what more can you do?
Yeah, there's it's kind of wrapping up a little bit there too, but we'll see. Like, hopefully we just gotta get the next one.
Yeah,
just the next one game at a time. We'll get the next one. But for those that don't know, Aidan got back from a nice trip in Portugal. The guy he went on a Euro trip tour. So the guy was out there being cultured, seeing the sights, seeing the history, seeing all the cool shit, probably eating a lot of good Mediterranean food.
Yeah, man.
So like, how was like what's like the summary things? Like, what are like some of like the top 3 things that you did that were fun? And then like, what are 3 things like, whoa?
You know what? So you talked about a few things I would mention. First of all, the food. Like that's probably the number one thing I went there for personally. That's what I was looking forward to. And yeah, a lot of seafood. Everybody, you had octopus and oysters and
Damn.
clams and squid and all that. And you know what? Like, I don't think I've ever had that much seafood within such a short time frame. But I was talking to, who was I talking to just a minute ago? Luke. He was saying he's on a strict fish diet, and it's funny how you just feel lighter a little bit when you just have like it's a light meat. You don't feel quite as heavy, but like I said, I don't think I'd really miss all that seafood. I've had my fill, but yeah, like
not a big seafood guy.
No, yeah, like I know it's not for everybody, but but hey,
like I don't know, dude, squid and shit. I'd be like, I don't know.
I'll tell you this: like you go around here and you have like, let's say octopus. Over here, it's like chewy, and it takes you like 30 bites just to get it down your throat. But over there, it's tender. I'm saying if you have seafood anywhere, you should probably have it over there.
Yeah, it's fresh off the boat.
Yeah, exactly.
They're gonna be shipped across like 3 provinces.
Exactly. Hey, I wouldn't trust it at that point either.
I wouldn't either.
So definitely the food. Second of all, I would say some of the sites were incredible. I spent the first half of the trip in a place called Lisbon, which anybody's heard of Portugal before is kind of their main city. It's where most tourists go to just hang out. Yeah, like to experience Portugal. I've never been there before. And that was a good time. Like you see a lot of historical landmarks. I'll be honest, I was with family and most of them spent the first half of the trip shopping, and I kind of got that done within the first half of the first day. Yeah. So, like just walking around, and that time I took the chance to see a few sites. Like there's a place called Sintra. I took a ride over there, and they have a lot of historical monuments. They have a big kind of battlement wall called the Moorish Castle, and that was about a hour-long hike up a mountain. So that's probably the most physical thing I did all trip. Well, not actually lifting. So that was actually a welcome activity.
Just lifted your legs.
Yeah, really. Yeah. And it wasn't that terrible, I guess.
Yeah. I don't mind hiking.
Hiking's not bad, especially when you can get to a mountaintop and kind of see what you did. Like, I saw. I took a couple of good pictures of what the castle looked like from the bottom, and then you kind of take a picture of what it looks like from the top, and you kind of look like, hey, like I did that. Like I went from here to there, and that took a while, but
how was the altitude?
It was different, man. Yeah, like
it does hit different.
You kind of feel it about halfway up, and then you're like, okay, like I don't know if I'm tired or if it's just the air pressure. Yeah,
O2 saturation lacking over here.
Whatever it is, I was breathing heavy by the top. That was a cool experience, and then like. You can go see some of the palaces and all the stuff that's really old in Portugal. And it's pretty cool to experience that kind of thing because we don't really have much like that, at least over here in like Southern Ontario. So, yeah.
This is history over there.
Yeah. And then I'd say I could talk more about the second part of the trip after. But like speaking of sites, the second half, I was more like in a coastal city. And they have a lot of caves, like well-known caves and cliffside I don't know, sightseeing spots like
touristy,
overhangs.
Touristy, scenic.
Yeah. So if you guys like Google Portugal and see some of the caves at first pop, like there's a great tour I went on that showed you all of them. and so you can go in the caves and pop out one side, do some cliff jumping. So that was pretty cool thing as well.
Nice.
Yeah.
Very scenic.
Yeah.
Refreshing.
I did a bunch there.
Yeah,
never bored.
Yeah, you're the Euro trip guy.
Yeah.
I remember. Speaking of altitude, like I remember doing like a training camp in Colorado, the Olympic Training Center, back my freshman year. Yo, I didn't think that shit would hit that hard. Yo, it hits hard, and it was funny because they have this hill on the side of the mountain. It's called the cogwheel, or like the incline.
Right.
But essentially, you could see it like driving through because you see this big like mountain, and all of a sudden you look at it, you just see a line that goes right up it. So you're driving from the distance, you can see a big mountain, and you see this one line go up. You're like, I think that's it. No kidding. You're like, huh,
you think
that's a long line.
Yeah.
So we get to the bottom of this thing, and they're like, okay, you're just gonna run up it. All kind of revving to go. Like, all right, bet. And we kind of take off running, and a bunch of the American guys just kind of started pacing. Yeah. Like, a bunch of wusses. We took about probably like maybe 2 minutes of steps up, and next thing we're like walking because also you just feel like gutted.
Yeah.
Like you're trying to
It's so weird because you can't like. It's not that you can't breathe. It's just like hard to suck the air in.
You just feel like you're not getting enough. You're just like trying to find ways to take in more, and then everyone starts jogging past you. You're starting to. You're doing like the fucking big man lead, just like trying to lift your leg. And all of a sudden, like, you get halfway up, and you just feel like it's a quiet. You're just like it's oddly quiet, and it's just like it feels like dead. You're just like, why can't I not get air into me fast enough? You just can't get it. I remember like. This is a different feeling. The whole altitude training thing is obviously we've known it's worked for years. Yep. But it's always like, okay, do you like live high, train low? Do you like all that kind of stuff? It's like, well, I think the ideal situation from what I remember in school was like you live at high altitudes, you train low so you can emulate it versus skill and technique get altered because you're out of breath. But I remember that same training camp, we run that incline. I was like, holy shit, this altitude like is legit kicking my ass. We went to like
especially if you never that was your first time ever experiencing anything.
First time, okay. I was like, this ain't so bad. Also, you're like, no, this is bad. I can't. I literally cannot. I feel like I can't expand my diaphragm large enough to get enough air pressure. Yeah, you're like, there's not enough O2 per breath I'm taking. Help me take in more O2.
You gotta think about breathing for the first time, man.
You're like, I literally feel there's no air in here. I feel like I'm in a plasma. Like the mafia just fucking tied your shit. And you're just like, help me. And I remember we went to a practice, and it was like a high school practice. We're just kind of helping out, and then they locked us in the room with like the mats and everything, and they like put blankets to seal the crevices so there's no air getting in. Mm-hmm. And these guys would train in that shit, and we would do like 2 minutes of goes, and our best guys would be on the ground like grabbing their chest. Like I think these high school guys are like, what's wrong with these guys? These guys aren't that good. And we're like, no, we just can't breathe. yo, we literally are not used to this altitude.
It's just different, guys. It's just different.
We cannot handle this altitude. We are not accustomed to this altitude. Give us time.
Big impact. Kind of like goes to show what it's like to do like a weight games, that kind of thing.
Yeah,
so.
You're just like, and it's like, holy smoke. So that shit was legit, just a different experience. But yeah, so that's good. You experienced the whole Portugal scenic route.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. Where was I?
You were talking about caves and jumping and jumping off caves.
Yeah,
I don't know. I would never.
No,
not a fucking chance.
Well, okay,
I'm on perfectly good land. Why the hell would I say, hey, here's a cliff, let's hop off, motherfucker?
You kind of don't have a choice.
Yes,
and I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why.
Yes, you do. You can just not jump.
So you go throughout the cave, and then there's like kind of openings where you
could also not go in the cave.
You could also not go in the cave.
There you go. So you have a choice.
Yeah. Okay. Sure.
On this episode of Me Now Do This. 10 me and Me Now Do This.
That was my first wrong decision. But anyways, you're there, and then like you come out to an opening, and then you see the same boat tour that you went on to show you the caves, and then they're all shouting, "He's gonna jump! He's gonna jump!" And I'm not gonna not jump and turn around and walk.
You
past
could literally
the line.
just like, I don't know. I'd be like this. I don't know anybody in this motherfucking country.
It's like you ever go to the high dive at the local community pool?
Yes,
and
but no, because I don't. I look up and like,
okay,
why would I do that?
That's it. Like maybe somebody out there is like, I'm guaranteeing a lot of you guys out there have gone up to the high board, seen the edge, and then seen the lineup behind you and said,
what's the fastest way down?
I can't go back. I can't walk all the way down there. So you just jump.
You just jump and this is it.
If this is the way I go, then I guess I asked for this. Literally.
You did. I just choose not to. Like I'm terrified of heights. I am obviously like,
really. I didn't know that about you.
Terrified of heights.
Really
terrified of heights. I don't do well. I've done heights. Like I'm the guy that has to go for the.
Well, you got to know you're terrified somehow. So.
Yes, I'm the guy that Christmas decorations. I've done a ladder like this a little bit, like, I try to gauge at a reasonable height. Like, okay, if I fall from this height, I'm not going to die, but I'll be probably pretty injured.
Why are the lights only on the lowest gutters?
There's higher peaks. Like, no, we don't have to go. No one's going to judge the house that much if I don't go in the higher peaks. But yes, I'm terrified of heights. Like roller coasters. I hate roller coasters.
Yeah.
I can't stand roller coasters. And the only reason I ever went on roller coasters in high school is like, well, any other person would do something stupid in high school. There's a pretty girl looking at you.
Yep.
So you're like, guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to go on the fucking roller coaster.
And you're sitting there. This ain't nothing. This ain't nothing.
No. I literally just don't say a word. I remember I'm sitting there like sunglasses on because I don't want to see my eyes closed. I'm sitting there going, okay, we got to be like, this has to be the top. You open your eyes and you're only halfway up and you're like, oh shit. You're like, bro. You're like, we're not even halfway up this damn thing. This goes higher. You're like, oh,
at least you don't like. God. Did you ever pass out on a roller coaster?
No, I've never passed out.
All right. At least there's
just been severely petrified. And when you finish, like, and then like, all right, go to the next one. You're like, oh my god, this is like a tour. It's like a tour.
Why is the seat so sweaty?
Yeah, insta sweat. You're hoping the line is long and you give up. You're really hoping they give up.
Yeah.
I can't do heights. I legit, I'll have if I have to do them, I will. I'm just. It's like anything else. I can handle airplanes to an extent. Turbulence fucks me up a little bit, but you kind of like white knuckle the.
Really? Okay. Even turbulence, eh?
Yeah, and I get on turbulence. I know not to panic because like if the
they got it.
Air crew's not panicking, it's fine. It's like a stiff breeze to them. But for me, I just it's all Final Destination shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's all fun. It's like when you're driving on the highway behind like a transport truck and you have like the rebar sticking out the back. You're like,
that actually does freak me out.
Right?
Yeah.
So there you go. It's like,
but that one is like, I feel like that happens more often. People falling off roller coasters. I have no idea what the stat is, but like,
my mentality is this: I look at roller coasters. And people are like, it's a lot of fun. I get it. Like someone creates this attraction for adrenaline rush, and it's an entertainment thing. Yeah. Absolutely. It's like, no, they're safe. I go like this: 2 space shuttles blew up, not 1, 2. You know what that tells me? They put billions of dollars into the first space shuttle. It blew up. They did it again, and it still blew up. And if they can make mistakes on space shuttles, you think I'm going to trust a goddamn roller coaster?
There have been
2 space shuttles blew up, man. That's my logic. Something like it's safe. I said, remember, 2 space shuttles blew up.
But how many rockets did they actually put up there? Like they
enough where 2 blew up.
You got to have like a few trial attempts.
Enough where 2 blew up. I'm not going like if I can avoid that kind of stuff. I'm like, listen, like there's always a risk with everything you do. That's why you sign waivers and everything else like that. But I'm just like, listen. A roller coaster, like I don't have to go on a roller coaster. Airplanes, I need to go from point A to point B, fastest way, safest way. Airplane, fine, I'll do the airplane. Roller coaster, my ass don't have to go on a goddamn roller coaster. I don't need no loop-de-loop, flip-de-doo shit. I don't need that shit. All right,
it does get pretty freaky.
If you want to like feel adrenaline and watch your stomach drop, just open a tax bill. That's real.
That's the adult roller coaster.
You want to go on a roller coaster? Wait till tax season. You'll be on.
You got like the envelope.
So I don't need that shit. That's just my 2 cents. I'm not going. I don't go into all that stuff. And like I truly believe that Final Destination was the cause for a lot of fear trauma. Do you want to call it that?
Those are freaky movies. Yeah.
They didn't come up with just one. It's like the Saw things. Like Saw was, like 13 Saw movies or some shit like that.
They're still making them.
Right. So you're like, they're just thinking, like, I don't know who the writer is that's sitting in a back room just thinking of 1,000 ways, fucked up ways to kill people.
I think there's some things they said they can't show.
Yeah, again, but who came up with this? What guys like, would be interesting? How would we kill a guy if we had complete autonomy over how we're going to kill this person?
But I think people just saw that and they ate it up. They're like, oh my God.
How fucked up is you?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's like Stan. You know what I mean? It's like, how fucked up is you, bro? It's like, same shit. And so now Final Destination is like, what are like the freakiest ways people can die in an accident?
I think the scariest part of those movies is like, you kind of make your brain believe it can happen,
Yes.
Yeah, like those things, like the rebar come out the shop, like that can't happen.
I know
it can't happen.
Yeah,
be careful, everybody.
It's crazy. I remember like driving on this was a couple of years ago. I remember just driving. It was like early in the morning, empty highway, and there was like a truck carrying a trailer of tires. And no joke. And remember, this was far enough ahead of me. The guy's trailer, bounced, and the 2 tires flew off the back, coming towards me. And I the 1 tire bounced off into a ditch, and the one was coming towards me. I just swerved out of the way to the right, but I'm like, this fucking happened.
Yeah.
A tire bouncing down the road, and that shit will kill you.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's travel. That's a heavy enough object moving at high enough speed that it will kill you if it makes impact. So I'm like, that could happen. And that was, Final Destination mode kicked in. I was like, This was Final Destination 3.
That's exactly where those movies came from. I think actually I heard about that. They just look up like common ways to die, accidents, they make a movie about it.
Yeah, and said, okay, let's have a guy foresee that's happening.
Yeah.
Like, no. And then next thing you know, so it's like, it's not for me. But regardless, like any story, it starts with, people are watching me peer pressure, and next thing you know, you're on a roller coaster.
Yeah.
So that's a full circle moment. But I was thinking, because I had we did the weekend, I had the garage project. I had to clean out the garage, everything else like that. Feeling really, empowered, I'll say. Because I'm not I'm not a very handy guy. But all of a sudden, you do a couple things. I think honestly, it translates really well. Just
get even more chest hair.
Yeah, you know what I mean. You're like, oh yeah. I literally will translate me trying to attempt handiwork to I would assume when people start training, feeling you know what I did? I got my work gloves. I laid them out on the patio. I put my work boots out. I put the outfit I got to wear to do all the work. And I had a little game plan. So I woke up, had my coffee, and I put on my work stuff. I'm like, all right, this is some Bob.
Today's the day.
Today's the day. I'm going to start doing shit. Now, you're just working through it. You're sweating up a little bit. You're like, damn. So you're figuring it out. You go to do a dump run. All of a sudden, just measuring shit. And nice part about cleaning out a garage and building workbench is it's the garage. No one cares. You can make dents in the wall. You can.
It's your home gym, really.
You can do what the hell you want. You can just build shit, make it look not great because it's not like interior design where someone's going to hang out. It's like, hey, here's a garage or a shit store. Nice. I'm just going to go try to build something. So I build a workbench and I feel accomplished. I'm like, nice. So now I'm on this little carpentry trend. I'm like, ooh, let me try making 45-degree cuts and building a shelf bracket.
Did you have that planned, or did you just say, I'm just going to make a shelf today?
I just wanted to make a shelf because I had I bought lumber to make the workbench, had spare lumber. I'm like, well, maybe I could put maybe try building a shelf.
Okay. So it was just.
That was a spur of the moment.
Day decision.
Yeah. I just said, oh, I have the stud find. Let me try putting stuff in the wall and just do it. So I'm like, oh, it's like a little snowball moment. I was like, okay, once you kind of get a little momentum going, I was like, all right, workbench. It turned out really good. I was like, wow, I put some varnish on it. You know what I mean? You're kind of tuck in the corner. You have a little accomplishment going on. I'm like, you know what? Why stop there? Let's try building a shelf. Then why stop there? Let me add a second shelf.
Classic progression, man.
Yeah. So I feel like it really tied in to just there's a sense of accomplishment here. Got a good sweat going. Built the workbench. And now I got to build a game board table. I don't know.
What are you building stuff for?
I don't know.
Building?
I just wanted a workbench and I put it on wheels. So if I had to, I could roll to the middle of the garage. So I have a 360 work area. You know what I mean? So I keep it tucked against the wall. It's about 36 inches high, 24 inches deep. So it's tight enough against the wall where you could park a car in the garage. But if I had to do a project that required more space, you just, I have the caster wheels. You just roll it to the middle. And now you have a workbench in the middle of the room where you can put stuff and do a 360 thing. So I figured instead of just having it mounted to the wall, which was my original plan, I was like, you know what? Let me try putting this thing on wheels and then just lock the wheels against the wall for storage and then just move it to the center if I want to do bigger stuff, which it's really a waste on me because I don't do anything. It's you know what I mean? It's
you know what? There's something good about just doing the activity that
you
don't even need.
It's one of those ones where hey, I'm going to build a home theater. Not that anyone's actually going to use it, but nice to know we have a home theater if we ever have enough people over that want to watch the same movie at the same time.
Right.
Which who the hell wants to do that? When has anyone say, hey, we're all just going to invite 5 friends. We're going to I don't know, watch The Office or some shit together? What do you...
I don't know, just some big premiere. Let's say you're in a movie or your friend's in a movie and you have everyone over. I don't know.
Yeah, I guess. But then it just becomes one more thing to maintain and dust. You know what I mean? It's for me, the workbench, the only thing I could see myself using workbench for, aside from anything handy in the house, which I'll probably never do, might be just arts and crafts that she wants me to do for her. Hey, I'm going to cut out this little thing for Halloween. All right, take the jigsaw and cut it. Well, guess who has a workbench and clamps now? Guess who's set to cut something with the jigsaw? Is it square? Is it angled? Is it circular? Ooh, please test me. I want to try to use my miter saw, my circular saw. I want to use clamps and wood glue. I want to try some shit.
Measure twice, cut once, man.
Yeah, if anything, I'd just be more inclined to do wood-based or carpentry projects. I don't want to do electrical and I don't want to do plumbing. I hate water.
That just seems like a pain in the ass to me. Just trying to figure that out.
Yeah, it is a pain in the ass. I mean, respect. That's why tradespeople are so valuable.
Yeah.
I can't remember that shit.
Yeah.
You know, and the consequence of not knowing it is a skill.
Yeah, you can practice and be a professional in. So, hey.
Electricians and plumbers especially. Why? Because the consequence of not doing it properly, shit blows up, goes on fire, or leaks mold, and just water damage, in my mind, is the worst. Yeah. Water damage is, in my mind, the worst. Electrical is hey, if something burns or not right, okay, it's burnt. There's not really mold attached to it. Water, if you see like if you see a drip from somewhere above your head, you know it traveled a bunch of other places.
You could lose an entire floor of your house.
Yes, because you know it traveled the easiest route to get to where it's dripping on your head.
Yeah.
And I look at that and I go, fuck. Because you got to trace it, you got to take it all out. Because now it's like, well, there's water dripping here, mold's going to grow here, da 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 da. Find a leaky pipe. Then you got to take down a wall to get to the pipe, and like rip out something to get to it. You're just like, how deep does this rabbit hole go?
Exactly what happened. I was in my old place in Toronto, and like we were trying to just change the entire bathroom, like just remodel it, and then by the end, gaping hole in the middle of the entire house, really just gaping hole because the mold would go through to the ceiling, and they had to just fill up that entire floor just because of one little leaky shower.
Yeah, I had tenants that just destroyed houses, and the shit I've seen, just things I'm like, how do you even let that happen? You know what I mean? Like we did a whole kitchen reno in the one basement unit, and I come back like a year later, like and it's just destroyed. You're like, how? You're like, legit, how? Like it's almost like you had to go out of your way to destroy something that bad. Like not even just like wear and tear. Like there's general wear and tear that just happens with living somewhere. But like this was like legit. Like how did you let it, like it's all freshly renovated, like a year, and you managed to make it look like it's been demoed. Like how?
You got to actively try and ruin a place.
Yeah, they do. I feel like there's people that do that because I get that they don't care, but you're like, man, like how, like, so yeah, I try to pick up a few things. I remember like changing a toilet was pretty accomplishing,
Yeah.
Like, it literally was the one toilet, one place. I remember trying to call my mom, like, so how do I do this? She's like, figure it out. Just hangs up the phone. I was like, oh, and the toilet was like leaking and shit. And I was like, well, let me YouTube this.
And you got to get that fixed in a hurry.
Yeah. So I put the YouTube on and I had the tools. I had my tool. Again, I had my tool. I had my tool belt, my gloves, and my ratchet set. And I was like, I had my pliers. I was like, all right, let's go. All of a sudden, just kind of figure it out. Take off like the gasket and all that kind of stuff. You clean it all up and you just mount it. And you're like, oh, this isn't so bad. Now it was kind of crooked, but I just blame the floor for that. I'm sure it's fine.
I did a good job.
But I think the person that like made the floor just didn't level it right. Yeah, I'm sure it was.
Well, we'll leave it to them. Like they.
Yeah. So I think that's more just like a big shout out to all like the contractors out there. Y'all, it's the good ones.
The good ones. You guys know what you're doing. Hey, good job.
If you know what you're doing, your license to do it. Good on you.
Shout out.
Big shout out to you. But so anyway, like that's a very off-side quest.
Yeah, I don't even know how we got there.
I don't really know either. I think it's talking about Final Destination, roller coasters, cliffs, diving, not doing that, and then we started talking about taxes.
Taxes, handiwork.
There, yeah. Big,
I don't even know how we got there, but hey.
Big full circle moment. But anyway, in terms of where we're at with training, because I know we've been having some conversations in terms of, what we're doing in our own training, what people are doing right now, what the response has been. So what are some things that you've seen recently from some of the athletes in terms of like what they're doing well? What do you think what's working? And maybe what's like, maybe some flags or like, maybe we gotta adapt the system a little bit.
It's a good question. Well, it helps me to kind of take a look back of where a lot of, like, I know you still are really busy right now. So taking a step back and looking when all these athletes, whether it be from high school, varsity athletes, whatever, where they started, and they all started kind of resetting everything. They were doing a lot more tempo work, a lot more just building, getting some capacity work in there. I think that was a really good start. And then after that, they're trying to put some of that to use. We have some, faster days, some high days, you call them, some sling days, some spring days. I think that's a really good idea to actually use what was built in the first phase of what they came back here to build.
Yeah. Welcome to Iron Performance Center, Niagara's home for real personal and performance training. We're a community obsessed with building durable, explosive, game-ready humans. No gimmicks, no shortcuts, just training that works. From athletes chasing scholarships, to pros chasing championships, to regular people who just want to feel strong, move well, and stay built for real life. If you're willing to work, you're our people. Our system is simple: smart programming, elite coaching, and a culture that pushes you to levels you didn't know you had. With modern technology and principles-based programming, we track your progress, teach you movement skills, and give you every tool you need to perform when it matters most in whatever arena you call home. Iron Performance Center, because performance matters.
Yeah, I think I just took a model and just revamped it to make it something that's simpler to not only understand, but have like the outcome kind of be a little more clear. Because really, I'm not reinventing the wheel.
Right.
Like if you look at all the models, like at least for a lot of my athletes right now, they did like their accumulation phases, they did their tempo work, and I would still include tempo work on like what I call build days.
Right.
But essentially all I did was take, okay, you look at the frameworks like a high-low model, you look at like the modified tier system, you're looking at pretty much any block style periodization or high-low model, and you're like, okay, undulating model. So it's like, okay, well, these things all have commonalities with, they all kind of like say the same thing, just a little bit differently, right? Like we're talking about like high days being like high CNS days, low days being low CNS days. That kind of ties into like high force, low force, slow force, fast force. So it's like, okay, all these things. So I'm like, okay, well, how do we kind of define the theme? And again, because they're so open-ended to conversation, it really just depends on how you're modifying it to what you feel the athlete needs. But really, it's like, okay, so I just said, okay, how about we go with like 5 or 6 token themes, like boom, zoom, spring, sling, build, and regenerate. And really, they all kind of follow a similar pattern to all the other models we just mentioned. But I was like, okay, well, boom, that to me is output. Boom is max output. So I'm looking at force output. I'm looking at max jump height, max distance, longer ground contact times by comparison. So there's just a couple things you're looking at. Now, that is in comparison or relative to the rest of your cycle. So it doesn't mean like long ground contact times, the hard cutoff is 250 milliseconds or greater. It doesn't have to be. It just means longer comparison to something else. And my boom days would more like, okay, knee dominant plyos, if they're included. So those are kind of like some parameters that fit under that theme token, if you want to call it that.
I think it's really good to have those themes like that as well, because it's so much easier for these guys to understand what the intention behind everything they're doing that day is.
It makes it a little more clear, right? And understand like you don't have to PR every day. It's just, how can I compete within the parameters of this day in this phase, right? Like, how do you program it for like, how do you use like the boom zoom? I don't even know. I just call it the performance architecture. So I call it like boom, zoom, spring, sling, build, and regen. Very similar to a lot of other models. Not reinventing the wheel, but just like another name with maybe a few parameters that kind of guide what kind of fits into it. So it's like, how do you use like a boom day on accumulation, boom day on intensification? How do you use boom day on realization? It could be the same thing, but really it's just going to be, hey, the intensities and the volumes at which you're doing the thing at, or the exercise selection kind of fits the theme. So it's like previous boom days have been like, okay, well, we're going to do like depth vertical jumps and full cleans. Your realization phase might be like, hey, we're going to do like a split clean, and then we'll do like a bottoms up back squat with a higher VBT range or speed. So you're like, okay, so it's kind of similar things, right? So
they can still drive that same intention. They know what it feels like now.
You know, it's not just like, oh, this is a boom day, it has to be this. Like, well, no, remember, like there are very fluid guardrails. It's like, hey, longer ground contact times, typically knee dominant plyo. Doesn't mean like you're not going to use your knee somewhere else. It's more like just, it typically would, if you're wondering where it kind of better fits in the theme of the day, because that theme lines up with output that lines up with the higher CNS day anyway. Right? Higher tissue and higher neural stress anyway. Versus like spring day is like lower ground contact times, typically an ankle dominant plyo. Right? So you're like, okay, well, that's my spring. So multi-directional, change direction, can be pogo hops, quicker ground contact times. Again, quicker in relation to other days, not being like it has to be less than 200 milliseconds, right? But shorter ground contact times, typically focus on the ankle complex. Sling is more like, how do I project force, right? It could be like accentuated like the sling, crossbody work. It could be throws, rotation, trunk. It could be a whole bunch of things. It doesn't mean it's set to one thing. It just means like, hey, here's a couple parameters that fit with this part of the architecture. Zoom days is essentially move fast. So boom is produce force, like, and then spring is quick off the ground, right? Sling being project force. Zoom is move fast. Now, that's going to be, again, another higher intensive, neural stimulus, but the parameters are simple. It's like you're going to be triple extension, so ankle, knee, and hip, right? There's not really a ground contact time thing because you're pretty much going to be sprinting. So it's going to be like, well, you know what that is. It's going to be sprinting. Here's the parameters. And then you're going to do like maybe higher intensive plyos that fit into that, right? So it kind of just helps you organize and stack stressors that using all these other frameworks anyway. It's kind of just, I think, not really simplifying it, but maybe just adding a little more context where you can kind of play around with it a little bit more. And then build is more like, hey, we're going to have longer time under tension, more tissue stress.
More tempo work in there.
Unilateral. Like I'm trying to build robustness and capability, right? Deep tier plyos could probably be in there too. It's like, well, you could argue, well, that could be under here. It's like, yes, but it's not that an exercise has to be in a category. It's what is the goal of the phase or the mesocycle. And then how do I want to organize my days to accommodate achieving that goal? And then like what exercise might pick that fit this goal or objective. And again, it doesn't have to be like a day 1's boom, day 2's spring, day 3 is zoom, day 4 is sling. Like I've started combining some things. Okay, if I have a 4-day cycle, I might go boom, spring and sling, zoom, and then build. And build is something different. It could be like a boom and spring day. It could be like a zoom and sling day. It could be like a boom and sling, zoom and spring. It could be like a boom build. It could be a boom zoom. It could be whatever you want.
It goes to show how fluid each one can be. Depends on what you're trying to get out of that one individual exercise.
I think people try to like just squeeze things into molds because it makes it easier for us like to have systems that organize it. But because humans are so chaotic, and this again goes back to, I've been talking about this for years. I wrote an article for it as well. The death of the annual plan. Now, I think having an experience drawing an annual plan is good because it helps kind of put ideas on the table in an ideal world, like where would certain phases be? And it gives you some structure you can kind of like reverse engineer backwards from. Good in theory. But just from my experience, I don't like planning out more than like 2 or 3 weeks at a time. I know some coaches that program just 1 week at a time because that's how like fluid things can be.
They know they can have control that 1 week maybe, but after that.
Yeah, like it just happens. Like in season, same thing. It's like, hey, we have this plan. If I plan the next 3 or 4 weeks, well, people get hurt. They have games, tired, stressed, school, just life in general. It's like, well, you can't just throw the whole phase out.
Yeah. They need all this work. And now we got to totally course correct.
So I'm big on like bottoms up planning. It's like, hey, just see how they're doing the day and make the adjustments. Like you have certain themes. The nice part is like if they understand that too, it's like, hey, Monday's gonna be a boom day, zoom day, whatever it is. Just in this example, it makes it easier to better prepare for that day coming up, especially in the off season because you have a little more structure. You have adaptability.
Yeah.
And the nice part is if you want to use that same performance architecture framework in season, it could be like, bingo card style. Like, hey, boom days are game day minus this out. Zoom days, same thing. You might combine 2 of them. It doesn't really matter, right? It's a little more fluid, flexible to meet the demands of where they're at and potentially plan for where they're going. So, I think having that framework, I think the athletes have responded well to it. A lot of them, they kind of know what those days mean versus like, I've had high force days, low force days, slow force. They kind of understand, but I think like keeping like the parameters simple, like, hey, this is what the day is. And if you look at it, it makes sense. But do you know what the intent is behind it?
Now, why do you feel like that is? Like, why do you feel like the kind of force system laying it out as it's like commonly talked about as opposed to like the way you're saying it, like boom, spring, sling, zoom? Like,
I think they're both fine. I think it's more just helping my athletes understand what the goal of the day is going to be. It's like, hey, here's the theme of the day. Doesn't mean you're going to PR. You know what I mean? It's just we're trying to have a way to compete. So it's like if we do jumps on boom day and we do jumps on spring day, they're still jumping, with the intent. It's more just like what matters more. So on a boom day, we know what the parameters are longer ground contact times and max height. Great. So if they're trying to get off the ground really fast, great, but not in sacrifice of height. So your job is to get as high as you can. And then you put a parameter on the ground contact time. Like, hey, if you're going really quick off the ground, maybe you have to go higher box, heavier load, whatever. On spring day, the goal is, yes, you still want to jump high and fast as you can, but the goal is mostly going to be, I want you quick off the ground.
Yeah.
Right. So now you're going to start looking at different parameters. So it's the same thing, but you're just focusing on a different intent. And that helps them hopefully have more intention behind the exercise and put the effort in the right place. Right. And I found that by, if you want to call it gamifying their training a little bit, I find to just get better numbers. Plus they have something they can hold on to. So previously, like I've had people do like dumbbell loaded jumps, like, hey, I want you to do 10 to 20% body weight per hand and just jump hard as you can. They will, but they have really no way of knowing if like their effort is lining up with the exertion. So now we're like, okay, well, we have the jump bars. All right, I just want you to do 3 jumps and you're going to record your best height of each set. Now they have like a competition. Like, oh, I'm trying to beat
even
last
with themselves.
week.
Yeah, they just got to be with themselves. Or if you're training with somebody that's doing the same thing, like, hey, you got an actual competition going.
Yeah, like, hey, we're both carrying 30-pound dumbbells in each hand. Who can jump the highest? Yeah. Right. So you have something. Again, is it perfect? No, it's not the point. The point is not to be accurate with the device or I don't care. It's just the fact that they're putting more effort into, the drill itself. That's going to lead to a better outcome. So that's kind of the point. So
I do like some of the stuff I've been using. Like the tennis ball sprints, I think are fun, just instead of just saying like, hey, you're going to sprint as hard as you can and get this time. Now just say like, have fun with it. Like the rules are kind of arbitrary. Like just toss a ball, try and get in 1 bounce, try and get in 2 bounces.
I think it's just find ways to gamify training. Again, it doesn't always have to be competitive. Like, we know the more intense something is, the more simple it has to be by default.
Right.
But like, if I'm trying to prep them for like their Zoom day, like, hey, we have like flying sprints coming up. I want you to do some hip skips. I want you to do some broad jumps, whatever drill I'm doing. I just started timing their broad jumps. I just started timing their skips. Like I literally put the lasers out and be like, all right, you're going to do a 10-yard broad jump as fast as you can. They're like, that's weird. It's like, it is weird. Well, do I go for how far I can or how quick? I'm like, you figure it out. Get creative. There's not really there's not an Olympic vent for timed broad jumps. It's more as like, hey, I want you to get from point A to point B as fast as you can doing a broad jump. Figure it out. So you might do some shorter ones, some longer ones. Either way, they're just putting some intention and competing in a different way. They're getting creative, right? They're getting creative and they're getting stimulated that way, and that preps them for their sprint work. Anyway, tennis ball sprint, same thing. Make it fun. You don't have to just throw it in front of you. Start backwards, throw over your head, turn, jump. Just be creative,
right?
Like enable some creativity and say, have fun with it. It sounds fun to say, yeah, you're just going to play fetch. Essentially, you're playing fetch.
Really?
You're playing fetch with yourself with a tennis ball, right? And with the timing gates, like, hey, we're going to do lateral shuffles. Like Rowan's doing lateral shuffles. I'm like, we're going to time them. I want you to go like a 10-yard or 15-yard lateral shuffle. Just shuffle as fast as you can to either side. It's weird. He's like, oh, this is like, feels weird. I'm like, yeah, you're going to start feeling it more in your groin because you're really putting intention behind you. You're not just doing like a casual shuffle, which we see a lot of people just kind of haphazardly going through these drills that they're mundane. They've done them at practice, stuff like that. But it's like, if we could just find like a new way
to make it interesting for them again.
Interesting. It's like, yeah, I was going to time it. Why? I don't know. Just because. What are you comparing it to? Yourself? I got nothing. There's not a data on like who can shuffle the fastest from this point. Like no one knows.
At least you're curious about how fast can they get on the next rep, the next set.
Like, and they start to, you're literally just gamifying shit that, like you typically will time a 20-yard dash, 10-yard dash. Okay, that's like a testing thing. I get it. Like you're doing force plate jumps and you're trying to jump as high as you can for Matrixx. But why can't you just do the same thing in a simple manner just to compete against other shit? Like the VBT boxes are great. Fantastic. Like, hey, I don't need you maxing out, but you have a target speed. So it's like, as long as the form is good, like coach the form. Yeah, here, you have some leeway. This will dictate you have a target. See if you can hit it. If you can't, lighten up, hit the target.
Even when they're doing those percent drops, like they're trying to get more reps at like a faster speed every single time, and they miss it. They're like, oh, damn, all right, I'll try better next time.
And you just close that window. So like right now for Cassie, she has a 5% drop and some of the other players have 10%. Why? It's like, well, Cassie's had a little more demonstration of neurological fatigue. So it's like, well, how can we accommodate that while also keeping on theme? It's like, okay, well, we have our set speed target and we're going to have a 5% go to failure. Well, you have a 5% drop with your target starting at 0.7 meters per second. So it's really not heavy enough. It's like, 65, 70%, but it's really got to be like really intentful and really consistent. Cause it's like all of a sudden she's like getting frustrated. Like she only had 2 or 3 reps. Like, yeah, it's something you can't do it. It's, can you hit it as fast, as clean as the reps you did before?
Right.
So it's kind of like, it's like a different kind of challenge.
Yeah. It's not just moving weight anymore.
Yeah. It's like, it doesn't have to be super heavy. It's like, no, we're trying to move fast. Yeah. But your cutoff is like really like splitting hair thin, right? Whereas others might have a different drop or something like that. So there's a ton of ways you can use these tools to compete. And it kind of puts them in these constraints. Like not everything has to be measured. Because again, on the other side of that coin, they can get neurotic about like, oh, I didn't jump as high. I didn't like move as shuffle as fast. I didn't broad jump as fast. Like that's not the point. The whole point is like, you're just trying for the day. Like you can compare to last week. Absolutely.
It's just auto regulation, all of it.
Yeah. It's all it is. Like, hey, just do it. Like your first set is going to be what you compare it to for today. That is all we're looking for.
Yeah.
Don't look too far ahead, too far back. We're just going to try to get the efforts in today. And that's enough. You know what I mean? So
I feel like that was one of the biggest benefits when I was first learning about VBT stuff is how like that's something you can actually use to direct your training for the day. Like say you do like 100-kilo back squat and moved however fast this day. And then like you're on your way up to 100 kilos and you hit a 90-kilo squat and it's moving even slower than you did last week. Then you're like, okay, it's just that kind of day.
That's how it is.
Yeah.
That happens. Like maybe you're a little sore, a little tired. Maybe you worked the night before. We've seen that with our athletes too. It's like, even though they had the weekend off, we usually put a higher intensity day on Monday. They had the weekend off, but some of them work. Some of them went out with their friends. Some just maybe have some things going on. They're tired. That happens to us too, right? Like it happens. Like you might have a weekend off, but you're still a little sluggish coming in. That happens. Maybe it's early in the morning. Ooh, you know what I mean? Like it's really not that deep. It's like, oh, their jumps are down. It's like, well, they just woke up. You know what I mean? Like, they just got out of bed 5 minutes ago.
Makes sense, honestly.
It's really not that deep. You know what I mean? So I think for them, it's like, I love using VBT, assuming they're kind of, not everyone needs it right away. I would argue, honestly, it's good to start them younger, assuming form and everything's down, but I think it's good to get them knowing like intrinsically what bar speeds feel like.
Yeah.
Not just load more weight, because honestly, you see form go down. And as for VBT too, it tracks like how deep you're going. So at least there's some way to regulate how the depth is looking, right? Which is big. But I like using it for that reason because there's so many different parameters and targets we can set without just load. It's like, hey, I can control the density, I control the volume. I have a different way of gauging intensity using speed that will auto-regulate for the load that you should put on the bar today in this particular moment. So I think I've used a wide variety of tools, at least this whole summer, and I'll continue to use it just to find some new ways to compete and gamify basic exercises. It's like at the end of the day, for my volleyball players, it's like you want to jump higher. It's really simple. A lot of it's going to come down to your braking ability, right? From what we've seen, right? So it's kind of like, hey, if you do loaded jumps, you do like heavy bilateral lower up, lifts like drop bar deadlifts, back squat, front squat, whatever squat variation, heavy, right? And sprint, you'll probably be okay.
Yeah.
At the fundamental level, you'll probably be okay. So now it's like, how do we if you do those basic things, you'll probably jump higher as it is, right? Like, hey, you could do submaximal or super maximal eccentrics to do those things on your back squat or whatever else like that. Great. You do that. You combine that with your loaded jumping and your sprinting, you'll probably be okay. The question is how do we drive you more intent from those exercises? Like, well, next step, let's set a speed target.
Yeah.
Let's put strict tempos on it. Let's put specific load ranges and densities on there. Like it's kind of just like, well, how specific do they need to be? For most people, it's like, hey, here's if we do these basic things, well, you'll improve.
It's enough for guys who don't need that direct intention of how it should move or how fast it or how high it should be.
It's like as you get more comfortable and experienced in the weight room, use those tools. They're fun. They're fun. Like I love using it myself for my own training, especially on days where I'm like, man, I feel tired. I feel beat up. I'm like, man, I don't want to do it. All right, I'll just change my speed target today.
Yeah.
So squatting, at least it gives you something to compete against. I'll, instead of doing like a 20% drop for squat because I need to get reps, like, well, let me try going a 10% drop and just see if I can keep consistent. Great, good enough.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I started doing speed box on the banded pull downs. That's kind of fun too. It's like, hey, it's a different stimulus. You can control it. I'm playing around with percentages to see, okay, what's a good starting speed target with form, but it's just fun. Like, hey, I'm just going to find new ways to gamify it to compete against myself versus 3x5, okay, or 4x5 or 4x6.
It does get pretty stale after a while.
Yeah, you're like, well, if the match from last week, it's like, well, why don't you find a new way to get the same outcome?
And that way it kind of takes away from the numbers you're so hyper fixated on.
Yeah, I get it. We're all associated with, hey, assuming your technique is good, how much weight did I lift? Yeah. Get it. I totally get it. I'd be more impressed with did you lift that same weight faster than last time? Good form? Great. I'm more impressed that way. Same outcome. But it's kind of just putting a new face on the same outcome. Yeah. I want you to have load, effort, and intensity.
A really good example of that audio regulation was we just talked about my trip. I was moving whatever weight on a snatch before and was moving at this speed, and then come back the next week, not even close to the same amount of weight, is moving even slower. But okay, I guess that's where I'm at today. I found that percentage for me today that I was at last week, and that's okay.
That's literally all it is. Yeah. It's like, hey, if you work within the speed range today, you will get better. Right. It's not maybe as good as last week, but for today, this is the range you're working in.
Right.
You will get better for where your body's at in its current state.
100%.
Right. It's maybe it's not recovered enough. There's something going on. Great. So in the state it's in, if your body's at 75% today, then this is the load you're dictated to do based on the speed. So then for 75% of your body today, this is your target. That's it. Versus you have to match your target when you're 100%. Well, you're not. And the speed tells me that. So the speed says you're not yourself. Great. It gives you a new target for how you are.
Sweet. Now you actually know.
That's it. Good enough.
Yeah.
Sometimes good enough done well is good enough. Right? It doesn't have to be overly complicated. I think it's, people get lost in sauce, right? And there's going to be those days where, you're going to have trends of slingshot moments. Hey, they're just pulling back. They're kind of digging a bit of a hole. They feel a little bit sluggish. And all of a sudden they get a little break and shoo, they slingshot forward and everything's fine.
Seen it happen before. Yeah.
Yeah, it does happen. Right. So, we're seeing a lot with that. I think it's for me, with my own training, but also just, my athletes on program, it's we have some fundamental pillars and we talked about some of the tokens I'm using, but a lot of it's how can I just gamify some basic stuff? Add some variety that's, out of the ordinary, outside the box. Okay, well, take your curls. How you try this curl? How you try that press down? Hey, we gotta do skips anyway. We gotta do shuffles. We gotta do deep tier stuff. We gotta do drops and jumps and everything else. Okay, well, how can I just find a way to compete? I don't know. Let's look at ground contact time today. Let's look at RSI. Great. Hey, you're doing broad jumps. Great. Can we do it to a box? How high could the box be?
Right.
Hey, we're doing repeat hurdle jumps. Great. Okay, how far can they go? How far can you put them apart and still get off the ground high? Okay, great. Now they're like challenging, like, yeah, they're not just jumping over hurdles anymore. It's like, oh, I'm trying to jump high and far and see if I can beat that distance. You know what I mean? Like, just trying to find some way to win the day.
Yeah.
So, but I don't know. I think it keeps people engaged. That's the biggest thing.
Yeah, you're not just working out anymore. You're actually training, you know?
You're training
in a fun way.
You're training with some fun. Like, at the end of the day, it's kind of supposed to be fun too. You know what I mean? Like, there's not every day to be perfect. Like, there's days like, even yesterday, I was like doing stuff. Man, I gotta get something in. I don't have time. Like, okay, I'll do some pull down, do some bench. Good enough. And the day before that, you know, I'm like, hey, I gotta do something. I got half an hour. Great. I'll do some back squat. My speed target's there. Great. Just go until you hit a drop. Perfect. Hit that. Did my RDLs. I did my loaded jumps. My loaded jumps were terrible compared to the week prior. I'm just tired from the weekend. So it's like, that's fine. Good enough. I did 2 sets of 5, hit my thing. I'm out. Good enough. Right. Until next time. So, you know, I don't think it has to be crazy complicated, but yeah, that's kind of like where our training's at. And I think parents show up next week for Parent Week. They might be able to see some of those cool things.
Nice.
Yeah. Hopefully so.
Hopefully your kids are talking about this too. Like, I really would be super excited to hear a kid be like, oh my God, Mom, Dad, I hit whatever inches on my jump today. Like, that would be awesome if they actually took that home with them and were excited about what they did in here.
That'd be great. It'd be great if like the parents come in next week and like one of the parents beats their kids like, show me some.
Oh man, I am waiting for that to happen.
Can you imagine just like a little family competition?
Hey, I would love to see it happen.
Dad just like fucking dunks on it, like, yo, look at me go. And the kid's like, I'm 12. I'm 12.
I just started jumping this.
I just started jumping. I just took the sport up like last year. I'm just relax. it's chill. So, but yeah, I think man, we covered like a wide variety of shit today.
Yeah, I don't even know where we started, honestly.
I can't remember, but nonetheless, I think I had some fun. So
yeah,
it's, you know, keep stacking bricks, stay away from heights, and keep chopping wood and building shit in your garage.
Have some fun while you're doing it.
Have some fun while you're doing it. Track the speed of you chopping wood and building a workbench,
and beat that next time.
And yeah. I timed how long it took me to build a workbench. I'm gonna beat that next time. I'm gonna become better prepared. Gonna get more sleep and, you know, hydrate for building a bench in less time. But all right, we'll call it a day. So guys, again, reminder: Parents Week, July 27th to the 31st. All right, make sure you reach out. I think there's a Google form. You can go on our Instagram page. You can comment on the one post, has it there. Check your emails as well. So if you are a subscriber or a member at IPC, you would have gotten the email. Check your junk spam promotions folder. Sometimes stuff gets lost there, but the Parents Week email is there. So take a look. And we hope to welcome you all you guys and girls out there for Parents Week. It'd be just a great time to, you know, get a workout in with your son or daughter, have some fun, see what it's about, and just kind of experience the environment for yourself. You know,
and meet us if you haven't had the chance to talk to us yet.
We're not so bad. Yeah, we're not too bad.
We're all right.
We do some cool high fives. We got some pretty cool high fives for a lot of people. But yeah, and of course, make sure you like, follow, and subscribe to all of our channels. We need you guys on Spotify. Let's see if we can get to the 100 follower mark on Spotify. I want triple digits. We just hit 3,000 followers on Instagram.
That's exciting.
Right?
I saw that today.
Right? That was kind of like, you wake up and you're like, oh, nice.
So no one unfollow, please.
Yeah, I guess someone would be like, watch like mess these guys. Just make sure you keep following us. Yeah. You know, hit that like button, that thumbs up button, not unsubscribe. Oh God, Spotify, YouTube, and Apple. So till next time, guys. Performance Matters Podcast, Matrixx and Aidan tuning out. See you all next time.
Peace.